well, it's just like a bad movie, but this one has the same ending. Rovers fans have seen this before. We know how the plot unfolds, and it would be an imaginative scriptwriter that would write a happy ending for this 2025 sequel. Blackburn fans know how much of a huge week this is, and that's our topic of discussion on This Week Where Rovers Walk. Welcome to the channel. It's episode 26. We're also talking about the Bristol City game. What did we learn from that 90 minutes? The transfer window closing. We know exactly what we need. Will it happen? And we're also going to talk about the worst ever Blackburn Rovers side and pick our worst ever defenders that should belong in it. We're delighted, of course, to have the powers that are Jason, Harry, Tom, and Mark back with us to discuss this huge week for Rovers. And Jason, it's I'm no bigging this up too much, am I? This next 7 days will determine your season, won't it?
Yeah, massive. I think the last 8 games, I think, have proved what we needed, that we're in dire need of just reinforcements. Whilst the 2 we brought in, Sanderson, yeah, I can see there's a player there. Fall short, I don't see. He looks like a player who's just passed it for me. But I don't think we brought him in expecting to play as much as he has done. And I think it's just fortunate we brought him in with the injuries we've got since. But the next week, I think we're just crying out for a striker. The form Gay is in now. A confident striker will score goals playing off Gay, the form he's in. He's playing for everybody else, and that's his problem sometimes. I think he's playing for everybody else, but we just don't have that player to put the ball in the back of the net. He's Vyman is the player doing it for us at the moment, but we need a striker, we need a winger. For me, I think now we seem to be looking for defender now as well as backup. And I think midfield, I've heard a couple of midfielders rumoured as well. So it looks like the plans changed over the last 2 weeks from what we originally wanted. But we need players back and we need new players in fast.
Yeah. You could do with signing Naki Wells, couldn't you? So you can stop scoring against him.
Can't stand that fella, mate. I cannot stand that fella. You know it's happening. The moment that ball goes up and you see his number, he's stood there on the touchline with a smirk on his face because he knows he's coming on and scoring. He just knows.
Yeah. Weird how that happens, isn't it? Every time. Yeah. But the Bristol City fans knew Vyman was going to score against them as well. So
yeah.
Their own way. Right, Harry. Sam says Venky's and whoever made the decision have sacrificed the entire of January and have probably ruined any hopes of the top 6. It's time for them to pull the finger out or put the club up for sale. We cannot go on like this. Maybe a harsh reaction to not signing any players, but do they have a point, Harry?
I mean, maybe, but we definitely can go on like that because we've been going on like that for the best part of a decade. It seems to be the same thing every season. Rovers fans seem to be baffled that we're not making a plethora of signings. Like it doesn't happen every year. We should come to expect this at this point. Yeah, I mean, of course, like any side going into a transfer window, you know what changes you want to be made, and it's frustrating when those changes aren't brought in. We do need to bring players in if we want to challenge because the with the squad down to its bare bones, we ain't got that many people available. But I don't know how much you can expect given our track record. I think we will bring someone in, whether it's what the sign that people want. I don't think we're going to pull up any trees. I don't think we're going to make a statement signing. But I think we need bodies in merely to just beef the squad up a little bit. Because I mean, we've got 16, 17-year-old kids on the bench who, I mean, you don't want to have to turn to them to bring them on. You want to be able to have quality on the bench. Like, for example, Bristol bought on a centre forward. He scored. You look at the teams that we're fighting around competing with. I mean, we're on a similar points with Middlesbrough, and they've just spent who knows how much on that lad from Plymouth.
$8 billion, yeah. Morgan
we just can't compete with that. So we're going to have to make shrewd signings. We're going to have to find someone from somewhere. But I wouldn't keep expectations overly that high that we're going to bring a statement signing in.
Yeah, cheers, Harry. Tom, it's pretty clear you're running on empty at the moment, isn't it, from recent results? What about performances, though? Because obviously I don't watch all the games, but I mean, talk to you guys. How are the recent performances in the last 7 days been?
The Coventry game, I thought we actually played quite well. And I was chatting to Jason and Mark while the game was going on, and it was almost like signs of like Stoke, because we could almost see it coming. We were pressing, we were creating chances, but as soon as that goal went in with Ellis Sims, and then before half time, and then obviously when Thomas Asante came on and scored in the second half, and the irony is we're actually linked with Thomas Asante as a striker getting into the door, and then he almost makes it 2-0, and we couldn't ever really recover. And I think we are running on empty. And I read today that quite a few players are in the red zone, so to speak, with their fitness, and they're tired. And you can see some of the players, you cannot fault their efforts and you cannot fault the attitude. And they are warriors. They are trying their best. And it's a real tough situation, because I think he's having to play now players that aren't fully fit anyway, just to see the game out. I was at the Bristol game at the weekend, and I thought, again, as Jason touched upon, I thought Gay was brilliant. I think he was a man of the match against Coventry, and easily our best player. And I know he's got some stick off a lot of Rovers fans, us included, this season. But he's kind of been the talisman. He's rallying the troops and trying to get them all going. And as Jason said, if we can get a partner that can play off Gay, because he wins the flick-ons, he's a handful. And I think the goal we scored when Dolan just fired it into the box and Gay won the flick-on for Wyman to head home, we should be doing more of that. But then it's just we haven't got the players right now to do it. The injury list is frightening, and you hear rumours about other players coming and going. And I don't know how much legs is in it, but I saw rumours that Middlesbrough are arranging pairs again today. And then you see players like Louis Barry going to Hull. Hull are near the bottom of the league, and they're pulling in players like that. And we can't really seem to be, enticing anyone of note. Any players we're linked with, I've never heard of before. They're outside of England. Any players we are linked with, we can't afford to buy. So it is a bit worrying. But like Harry touched upon, this has happened every single season. My only fear is that this got to the point last year with John Thomason, and he almost broke him, and he had enough, and then he walked because he wanted the players weren't there. He was promised things, it wasn't delivered. You can see John Eustace is getting visibly frustrated. Something will happen, I think, in the next couple of days, but I don't know. I'm not quite as confident as I was a month ago.
Okay. Cheers for that, Tom. Mark, let's jump back to the Bristol City game. I want to just raise one question which had divided some Blackburn fans. It's regarding this particular incident for the Scott Twine free kick. Yeah. I think we were saying how great Ainsley Pears had been done a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Is he at fault for this goal?
Good question. I've seen quite a lot of debate around it since Saturday, and I've been in two minds, to be honest, with this. When I've watched it a few times, I don't think his positioning is great to start with. I'm quite old school anyway with football, and I've always been a believer when it comes to goalkeepers, they should never be beaten at that near post, if you will. I think, obviously, when I've looked at it on the flip side, I think it is a really, really good free kick. The lad's technique, and to get it where he has, he couldn't have put it anywhere else. But, and it said, I think this is the thing with Pears, there'll always be a question mark over him. I think he has done great this season, and we've all said that. But yeah, initially when I saw it, I was disappointed, and I think a really top goalkeeper gets it in my opinion. But I don't know, maybe that's just being a bit harsh. But listen, nothing taken away from Twine. It was great technique, but yeah, I disappointed. He doesn't get that, to be honest.
Why don't goalkeepers stand in the middle of the goal anymore?
I know, Jason.
I don't get. Surely that gives them an even chance wherever the ball goes, whichever top corner it's going. They've got more chance. He's virtually stood on that far post.
Well, I think because if you think about the week before against Oxford, he was beaten at that side by Brannigan. So I think he's overcorrected from the week before and thought, oh, well, that's clearly a weakness. I don't want to get beaten on my own side again. He's overcorrected and taken a step further to that side than he should be. But if he takes a step to his right, Because I mean, it's a good finish from Twine. It's in the side netting. It's a good height for a keeper. If he's a step further over, he's not a million miles away from it. So
thing is, we all called it before the kick went in, and we saw where players were stood, and we were all saying, "What on earth is he doing there?" And all the fans around me were saying the same thing. We can all see it, apart from the man in goal. And as soon as it went in, we just thought we could have called that.
Yeah, the lad that's stepping up, Twine that's stepping up for that, he's looking at that. And you think, if I get bang on, it's in. I've got it, you know. And so he's giving him that choice, and he's giving him an option. He's like, go on, do your best, and that's exactly what he did. So disappointed.
All right, we'll leave the Bristol City game alone and let's move on then, shall we? And coming up next, it's the return of this man to Ewood Park this week. This weekend. It's Friday night on Sky as a informed Preston North End come to the another Lancashire Derby. Jason, are Preston fans getting just as annoying as Burnley?
They're doing the best. To be fair, everybody seems to hate us. We play Leeds, they hate us. After the fans were relentless for 2 weeks, Coventry fans after that, why do people hate us so much? I don't think our fans are that bad, are they, on Twitter? I mean, they're not the best. They have a meltdown the moment we concede, but
Coventry fans are something special on Twitter. I've never known the fan base like it. I wouldn't get rattled by them. They're just looking for any rivalry at the moment.
Yeah, I think it just feels like everyone wants us as a rival, and maybe it's because we're crap. I don't know, and we're an easy team to rival. I don't know, but it's Preston. We don't really hear off them till we play them. They always start parking up the week we play them. Burnley fans go for 12 months. It just never ends. They're still going on, I think, about that result and the corner flag incident. So, yeah, I think Preston just need a rival. I mean, nobody cares about them enough, do they? I think that's the problem. So they just... I'm going to get some comments now.
Shall we bring in our Preston fan?
Why not?
Let's go. Harvey, are you there?
I just jumped in to listen to these because I find it really interesting. I was literally, I thought, you know what? I thought I'll jump in earlier just because I love listening to what they all have to say. Brilliant.
Now let's keep this nice and civil then, shall we? Harry, are you worried about this game on Friday, given Preston's form and your slump?
I'm worried about every game, mate. I mean, it's one of these games. It's Friday night. There probably will be a bigger crowd there than normal, so it will be a bit of a different game. I think we're down, like we've mentioned for the last few weeks, we're down to such bare bones. We don't even know which team's going to come out there. Preston are doing well. It always seems to be a tight game. There's always over one goal in it last few seasons between us and them. I think it'll be a game. I wouldn't be overly confident, but in a derby, anything can happen.
Harvey, how many are you bringing on Friday?
I think we've sold most of both tiers. I think it's just like a half of the upper tier now to go, but I imagine we'll pretty much sell it out come Friday. Well, I'd hope so anyways.
Okay. Mark, does Majvic get a nice rousing reception from the Blackburn faithful?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he'll certainly get a warm welcome. That is for sure. I can also see him scoring as well. I think I don't know. The Preston lads will probably be able to confirm, but Preston seems to have been better since he's come back into the team. They seem to have picked up, and they seem to have picked up a bit of form. So, I've just got that horrible feeling. He's just going to, again, he's one of those players, and he'll end up getting a goal right in front of the Blackburn end. So I hope not, but he'll certainly get a very nice warm reception. That's for sure.
Ash, in the absence of Blackpool being anywhere remotely close to playing you again, is this the fixture that most Preston fans look for now?
I think it's starting to get there. For me, it's always been Blackpool first, then probably Burnley. But I think just by virtue of us being in the same league for a while, I think it's kind of grown slightly over maybe the past year or two.
Tom, in terms of score predictions, would you take a draw now, given your slump and how Preston are doing?
No, I think we draws are going to do us no favours. I mean, look at the league table. We're 7th on 44, and Preston are in 14th on 37. There's not a lot in it, really. And I think if we keep continuing to go down this little road of losing and drawing, teams around us are going to pick up. And if we have any aspirations of getting in the playoffs, we've got to win at home, under the lights. A draw is going to really do us nothing. So I think we've got to go and win.
Okay. Etienne, do you want to draw?
No, I feel like we need a win to keep pushing on. We've got a couple of tough fixtures coming up against Norwich, against Burnley, and against Millwall. So yeah, we kind of need to go out to Ewood, and like we always do, win on a Friday night there.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll pause this before anyone it turns nasty. Beck, there's no plans to harm Beck Harvey, is there? Here, I'm sure, given what happened before.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I think if you're Hecky, I think surely the first thing you tell us, mate, is to try not to bite anyone before the game. I think that's probably just bog standard. But I'm hoping that Beck's not fine if like McCann injures him or something. I think I'd love that. But
okay. Right, Preston lads, we'll see you. Thank you very much for dropping on and saying hello. We'll let these guys just finish off their regular chat. Let us know in the comments your score predictions from that. Actually, a good game on Friday for us to watch. Finally, then, of course, we're talking about the worst ever Blackburn 11 that we've ever seen. Last week we did strikers, so let's finish off our back line. We've already got a goalkeeper in place. Let's do the back four. That's okay. I'll let it go open forum, have a chat here, because I'm not sure how many of you have got what position.
Bradley Orr, start off. Bradley Orr, he was shocking.
Yeah,
I'll
he's
go
one
left
of mine.
back.
Yeah.
I'll go left back. Akan and Sal. 8 games.
Oh yeah.
Come from Galatasaray, 2002. This man's the one. He's the one. He's the left back. He's the one we've been waiting for. 8 games in the season went back.
Great shout.
Oh,
And then your centre halves have got to be Shane Duffy and Elliot Ward.
Shane
Oh,
Duffy.
yeah.
Elliot Ward.
That's got a name. It's got to be Shane Duffy.
Yeah.
Got to be.
What about Miles Anderson? Miles Anderson was a
Oh,
pearler.
yeah, I forgot about him.
He was a pearler. But,
Elliot Ward,
was
Paul Caddis.
awful.
Yeah.
I like Paul Caddis in a
I
weird
didn't
way.
think Caddis was too bad. Caddis was,
Yeah.
Did anyone say Wes Brown?
Yeah,
Where's
Wes
Brad?
Brown. Yeah, Wes Brown.
Forgot about him.
Okay, I can't keep up now. You've had so many bad players. Right, who's all right? What's the worst right back? Help me out. What did you say?
Bradley Orr.
Okay,
Bradley
right.
Orr, yeah.
Left back. Missed the name.
I'd go with Jason.
Yeah, Akan and Sal.
Right. Okay. And then what we're doing? What, Duffy?
Duffy's
and-
got to be in there.
Duffy, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just for the 2 own goals alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who's potting in Duffy?
Elliot Ward was
for me.
there.
Yeah, he did be for me. He was awful.
Okay, all right. Let us know in the comments if you can beat that. Next week, it comes to our conclusion as we look for the least dynamic midfield that Blackburn have ever had, and then we look for our manager as well. So join us for that. Also, next week, we've also...
If you want, sorry, we can do another one after that. We'll just keep going every week.
3 of them.
Do you know, man, this would be a shorter conversation if you pick the best. If it's the best 11, it'd be a very short conversation.
Sure, it's the 95 team, isn't it? Yes, let us know. We're also doing our January Player of the Month next week, and we'll also review that Preston game as well and see how that has gone. Join us for that. Busy week for Blackburn, a huge week for Blackburn as well. Preston, and a big window to hopefully get back into that top 6. Fingers crossed for all of you. We'll review all of that next week when we see you. Thank you very much for watching. Drop us a subscribe, drop us a like, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Thanks, you guys.